Welcome back to Terror by the Bay. I'm David. Okay, so Scalise is out. Jim Jordan's the next up. All right, I've done readings on Jordan in the past, and a head-to-head with Scalise, and I saw Scalise looking like he would be the person who would get the nod to be the Speaker of the House from the Republicans. And he did get that nod. He did not make it to the finish line. I didn't see him getting the finish line. So, Jim Jordan, you weren't the first pick. You were a bridesmaid. And some random person, who was it? Austin Scott of Georgia, made a last-minute bid. And when the votes were counted, you beat him 124 to 81, which is a little bit better than what Steve Scalise beat you by, which was 113 to 99. Well, then they had a second vote when people had time to think about it. And in that second vote, Jordan won 152 to 55. So there's 55 people not supporting him. Kevin McCarthy then went out there and said, we need to elect Jim Jordan as our next speaker. We need to get over this and move past it. And he wants this done by, he wants them to come back on Monday and take care of business, as the quote goes. So, and some Republicans, I think, are considering holding their nose and voting for him. Okay? Maybe that'll happen. Maybe that won't. Let's see. One of the reasons why they don't want to do it is that basically, from their point of view, they're rewarding bad behavior. Jim Jordan was one of the people that wanted McCarthy out. Now, 5 people had a tantrum and McCarthy's out. And why should you reward them with the most powerful position in the House? Because won't that just cause them to have more bad behavior and drag you down with it? Sounds like somebody in that group was a parent at one time and understood how this works. A lot of children running around. Parent. Jim Jordan, current situation, House Speaker. Are you going to get the proper number of votes to be confirmed as the Speaker of the House? Okay, so we have the Knight of Swords. He's going to come charging in as their white knight to save the day. The problem is that not everybody's convinced that this day is worth saving, nor are they convinced that this is the night that they want saving them. There's more battles to be fought. He's not there yet. Yeah, there's a lot of people that need a lot of convincing. They, do I really want... we get... This guy's like, I can end this battle, but this is not the guy I want. And they may say no to that, and kind of like, what's worse? What's going to have to go through with the Republicans is, what's worse? Is it worse to have Jim Jordan as the House Speaker, or is it worse to have a House Speaker that the Democrats like and we have to compromise with them? In the end of the day, if Jordan is the House Speaker, unless these Republicans sell their soul to him, the House is going to get nothing done. And the stuff that they will get done will be extremist stuff. You'll never get the Democrats' support on it, which means that when it gets to the Senate, which is controlled by the Democrats, it's dead on arrival. And all you'll have is deadlock and horrific things that these guys have to deal with at their next election. Let's slash Social Security by 30%. Raise the age from 67 to 75. Get rid of Medicare. Get rid of the Inflation Reduction Act. All these stuff that the Republicans, and then give a tax break to the rich. All the stuff the Republicans want to do that take away benefits for the common person, and they're going to have to deal with the consequences of it. In the past, we have the Page of Pentacles. Election interference, and Jordan's, he's got a prime role in the stolen election and election interference. Stolen election in that there was no stolen election in 2020. We can have a debate about 2016, but in 2020, the election wasn't stolen, but he supported the big lie. He does not offer much to this team. And this is one of the things that's coming back. The thing that came back on Scalise was him comparing himself to David Duke I almost said Daisy Duke. Picture him. He's Daisy Dukes without the baggage. Hello, ladies. Yeah, David Duke without the baggage. Jordan's like, you're neck deep in January 6th. By the way, you still haven't answered that subpoena. We're over 500 days since then. Current situation. He in this article I've got, he's saying, yeah, we'll get to the 217 votes. He's trying to project confidence that he's got this, and he's got McCarthy backing him. But the question is, will 5 Republicans or more say no? Currently, there's 55 saying no. Can they keep 10% of their ranks? He thinks he's going to get this done. Overall is the Hierophant. Oh, God. I can imagine he wants to get this done because he thinks that's going to protect him from investigations by the DOJ. It puts him in the most powerful position in the House. And then he can really, cut off the shackles and go after Biden and the Democrats with whatever crazy investigations they want to do. Oh, he will go absolutely bananas with investigate. They'll investigate Hunter. They'll investigate Joe Biden. They'll investigate AOC. They'll investigate Nancy Pelosi. They will investigate every person they can to deflect from their actions on January 6th. The lesson to be learned is the Nine of Pentacles. I think what we've got here is, it's appreciation for what you have and enjoying what you have. And we've got a couple of 9s here, and 3 9s actually, if you look at it. He's going for something beyond. He's not really appreciating his role in Congress. He's going for more. Maybe he wants if you're the House Speaker, you're going to have a big payout with it, not to mention the protection. I don't think his House Speakership is not going to be for the benefit of the United States. It will possibly self-enrich him, but it's not to the benefit of the United States. Outcome, 6 of Coins, the charity. Okay, that's going to need some clarification. Does that mean that he makes the compromise? And here's the thing. I was about to say, does he make the compromises to get the conservatives on board with him? Conservatives being the moderates now. What are you going to offer him? It seems that all the offering seems to be going to the MAGA faction, of which Jim Jordan's a major player in it. What's he going to offer to the conservatives to back him up? And I think that's what it is. What does he have to offer as compromise to get voted in? We all know what McCarthy was offering to the extremists. You can have your impeachment investigation and your investigation into the DOJ and the weaponization of the government, and you can go after Hunter Biden, and we'll do all this stuff. Just let us get the budget through. In this one, what's he going to say? I will let you get through a normal budget and funding for Ukraine and Israel. And then after that, it's balls to the walls. That's what he has to offer. I will give you like 4 agenda items. A budget, a debt ceiling raise, and funding for Ukraine and funding for Israel. And then after that, it's crazy town. I don't think that he's going to get there. Let's see. Okay. I guess we can throw clarifiers. We'll throw additional reads on that. Christmas. You will get no votes from the Democrats. No votes from the Democrats on this guy. Jim Jordan. If the Democrats could give negative votes to the Republicans, they would. If they could vote twice, they would. They'll vote for Dianne Feinstein. Unfortunately, was a senator, and Dianne Feinstein would rise from the grave to vote if she were in the House. That type of thing. God, no, interestingly, I didn't see anything about the unless the Page of Pentacles were the health of the young men that were in the past. That's another layer to all this. And actually, if I think about that reading, if we made it just in the framing of the young men, so you got the knight charging in, those are the young men charging in to address the issue, and it's the Knight of Wands is now Jim Jordan under being beleaguered again, because there's the young men in the past with their health accusations, they're being molested. Nine of Cups, Jim Jordan was the wrestling coach, and he just sat there and did nothing. Over it would be the Hierophant. So this is something that's been brought attention to the government on the congressional floor. And there's litigation that's involved with it. And the lesson to be learned was the Nine of Pentacles, which could be the lawsuit, a financial lawsuit, and the loss of, wealth and influence. And then the outcome, which is the Six of Coins, is a plea deal. A plea deal where he pays some money, Ohio State pays some money, and Jordan has to admit whatever culpability he had for it. I don't think they'd settle without Jim Jordan acknowledging what he did or didn't do. So again, an interesting way how tarot cards can, that same spread, what Jim Jordan's trying to do in Congress is going to be the same thing these young men are going to do with Jim Jordan. And that Four of Cups underneath is all the explanations and the denials and everything like that they've been handed to by Jim Jordan, which is going to drive them. So keep an eye on, that's going to be a really key issue here for Jim Jordan, is keep an eye on what the young men from Ohio State, they're not young men now, they're my age, the wrestlers from Ohio State do now that he's nominated to be the Speaker of the House. Okay, so what challenge does Jim Jordan need to overcome to become the House Speaker? We're going to do a challenge, a 4-card challenge one. And again, this will probably be the same thing with the young men coming in. What challenges do they have to overcome? But we're going to focus on Jim Jordan. What does Jim Jordan need to do to convince the Republicans that he needs to get on there? And if he gives them this, how will they react? Will this... It's going to be MAGA versus non-MAGA. Yeah, let's do it. Let's see. He has to come up with agreements. Between them. That's a great card. It doesn't tell me much, but it's a great card. So he needs to come up with agreements. So for the Republicans, backroom dealings, how are we going to be able to sell this, keep funding, keep the government going, and not have us suffer the consequences of it at the polls. This is going to be a lot of money changing hands of some sort, something of value. There's going to be a lot of fighting amongst the 55 people that voted no. He's got to offer something really big for that. Yeah. So Jordan's got to offer some things that they want, and it's going to be financial. So he's going to have to say that, we're going to come up with, the triad. We're going to come up with a budget. We're going to come up with funding for Israel. And we'll discuss funding for Ukraine. And there's going to be a ton of fighting in with this. And the budget is a big, big issue with them. And then, they need to go out and sell this. Get this budget moving. But then they have to sell it to their constituents. What's underneath this all? 8 of Wands. Things happening fast. And happening fast and visibly. Okay, so that's what he's got to do to get the Republicans on board. What's he got to do to the conservative Republicans? What does he have to do to get the MAGA faction? He's got to keep them in the dark. Got to keep them in the dark with the deal he's making with the other side. But they're going to find out because they're going to be looking. They want to know what he told the other side he was going to do. And it's their worst nightmare because they don't want the government funded. They want a shutdown. They want destruction. And in order to get these votes, he's going to turn on them and they're not going to want to vote for him. It's the only 9 I was missing on that first on that first reading. Here we go again. Here we go again. It's not. I don't think he's going to get it because I don't see how you keep the MAGA folks in the dark with the behind the scene deals you're making with the Republicans. Now I'm kind of curious. What about the wrestlers here? I'm going to move this up. What about the wrestlers? The former Ohio State University wrestlers. What are they going to do? They're coming in fighting. They're coming in hot. They're going to come in and start really lobbying against Jim Jordan. They've had a lot of time to process what's happened to them. And they're going to try and reason with people. Why would you want this toxic person to be your leader? Some may question the value of them trying to do it because their first go around didn't make that big of a difference. He's still in a position of power. They're going to tell folks that they want Jordan. They want them to walk away from Jordan. They don't know how it's going to go, though. Some believe maybe it'll happen. Maybe some of them walk away. But they're going to try, and it's interesting because you got the moon card and you got the moon card here too. They're going to try and remind people who Jim Jordan is. You know, he was supposed to be protecting us and he didn't do it. And so is this who you want protecting you? This is going to be a mess. How is he going to come out with this? It was 6 of coins. Okay, so those are all the things he needs to do. And that was the point of that. Is what does he need to do to convince people? He needs to convince the Republicans that they can have their budgets and their votes on funding of Israel and such. And for the MAGA people, again, he has to keep them under wraps, but he's going to promise them the sun, the moon, and the stars type of thing. Like, you can keep doing all the crazy stuff you're doing. But he doesn't want them to burn it down, and they want to burn it down. And they're not so sure that they want to support that. And this is, they know which way they want to go with this. I don't see how he gets the votes. I just don't see it. That doesn't mean it can't happen. I just don't see it. Okay, so Spirit, by the end of the week, by the 20th of October, it'll be Friday of next week, what will be Jim Jordan's situation by October 20th? Will he be elected? Will he still be chasing votes? Will he have withdrawn his name? I was thinking I might read on this other guy, but, he didn't do anything, Austin Scott. Yeah, I'm not going to read on Austin Scott. I'll read on Austin Scott if Jim Jordan steps down, and now Austin Scott's the next, the next contestant on Who Wants to Be the Fool card and a Nostalgia card coming up here. I just dropped about 6 cards. Let's see if Austin Scott. I think Austin Scott was kind of a fool. Like, I'll just throw my name in there and see what happens. Okay, Jim Jordan, next Friday. How are things looking for you? I would say that looks like not so good. Anybody willing to bet against me on that one? What happened? Queen of Swords happened. Oh, God. I think harsh reality came crashing down on him. I wonder if he gets indicted for something. Kind of like, the Fonnie Willis, kind of how she owns this guy. The Lover's card and women celebrating in the 4 of Swords. Yeah, I think by next Friday, he's done. He's done and he retreats. You know, he couldn't unite the people in that. He tried uniting the people, but the reality is that there are some people who are never Jordaners. You know what I mean? And they're going to celebrate their victory over taking this guy down. Might even be females in the House that unite and won't vote for this guy. But you know, again, you know, like a Nancy Pelosi type or a Liz Cheney type. You know, but it's going to be. He's not going to get it. I'm not going to speculate who does it. If I just look at this energy, it's just a very matter of fact, no way in hell. You know what it also is? This really is the, you behaved like a bad 5-year-old. Why should I give you ice cream? Why should I give you what you want? You're not getting anything, and we're going to win this time. We're going to win by taking your butt down. You took down McCarthy. You wouldn't support Scalise. We're not going to support you. So we're not saying we're fair and even at that point, but it's going to be, you know, we're not going to have our guy. You're not going to have your guy. Too bad. And welcome to today's GOP. Leave it at that. So, looks like I will continue to get to do this topic on a weekly basis as to who's the GOP's sacrificial lamb for the week to be the House Speaker. I don't want it to be Jim Jordan. And if he gets in, and by some miracle he gets in there, he's going to be ineffective. I mean, the Republicans have to unite behind him and his wackadoodle ideas. And the only way his ideas get through is if he includes the MAGA ideas, because he's a MAGA leader. Which means that we're moving towards extremism. And then the normal Republicans have to embrace the extremism. And elections are in a year. And you can get primaried with that, or you can drive people to vote for the Democrats because they don't want to see their country go to an autocracy. It's a horrible position they put themselves in, but they're the ones who've done it. Okay, so thank you for watching my video and supporting my channel. I appreciate it. Thank you for feeding the YouTube algorithm so that my video makes it out to new viewers. To those new viewers, I hope you found this reading insightful, and I hope to catch you on the next video. Take care.